Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Saturday, December 12th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Saturday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, where the two sides stand as far as the next relief package goes, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so we have finally made it to the weekend, but Congress now only has 5 working days left to pass the next relief package before they plan on going home for Christmas break. Not only will they need to pass a relief package, but they are also looking to approve a defense spending bill as well. So there's definitely a lot on their plate, but nothing they shouldn't easily be able to handle. And while Republican Senator Josh Hawley and Independent Bernie Sanders are on opposite sides of the political spectrum, they are coming together for a common cause: stimulus checks. The two have teamed up, calling for a second round of $1,200 stimulus payments for each adult earning up to $75,000 per year and $500 for each child. Bernie Sanders even went as far as threatening to not vote on the CR deal if they failed to hold a vote on a bill that would give direct assistance payments to Americans. So it should be real interesting to see how all that unfolds. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, a standalone bill for stimulus checks makes too much sense. For months now, we've seen bipartisan support on both sides of the political aisle for directed payments to American families. And now it's time for them to put that proposal to a vote so we, the people, can see exactly who is holding up stimulus payments. Because we don't need a bill for stimulus payments while at the same time throwing in a ton of other hidden agendas. Give us one bill with one piece of legislation, that being stimulus payments, and put it to a vote. If they're unable to do that, then it goes to show how much our lawmakers really care. In other stimulus news, it's being noted that committee leaders in both chambers are negotiating some of the more non-controversial aspects of the relief package, such as small business funding. And despite Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi not exactly coming to any type of agreement on the bipartisan group's proposal, the bipartisan group continues to press on. They are now starting to draft the language for the $160 billion going towards state and local aid, despite Mitch McConnell signaling he won't support it without having a liability shield for business owners as well. Since Nancy Pelosi isn't allowing him to have his liability shield in there, McConnell wants to block aid for state and local as well. When McConnell offered to get rid of the liability shield, as long as they remove the aid for state and local as well, Pelosi declined. Nancy Pelosi wants the bill crafted her way, with state and local, but no liability provisions. Go figure. Her way or the highway. So with the House of Representatives now gone from Washington until next Tuesday, we have to hope that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi will finally come to their senses. What's more important here? Passing more relief for American families and helping small businesses? Or is it their own personal fragile egos that need to get their way every step of the way? The fact is, a relief package has been held up for far too long now. Back in October, Nancy Pelosi had $1.9 trillion on the table that she could have accepted, but she rejected it, later admitting that it was for political reasons because of who was in office. So now it's quite clear that to Pelosi, this relief is more about politics than it is about actually helping struggling American families. Not that the blame should be completely placed on her, as we fully realize McConnell has also held up relief, but $1.9 trillion is a lot of money. Pelosi had the money on the table, and all she had to do was accept it. And now she wants a deal at just $900 billion without stimulus checks in it. That's just mind-blowing. Either way, it's time for them to right their wrongs, pass Josh Hawley's standalone bill for stimulus checks, extend the unemployment benefits, extend the Paycheck Protection Program, and move on to the next deal. This has been delayed long enough. It's time to quit playing around, reach a deal, and give struggling American families the relief they need. In unemployment news, in just 2 weeks, 14 million Americans will no longer be eligible to collect unemployment benefits through the 2 programs scheduled to end. That's right, without congressional approval to extend the PUA and PUC programs, 14 million Americans will no longer be eligible to receive any unemployment benefits. And even though extending the unemployment benefits, including these 2 programs, seems to be a bipartisan issue in Congress, lawmakers have been unable to pass any relief package because of other issues. Due to the inability to agree on aid for state and local government, in addition to liability protections, they've held up other more important issues for American families, such as unemployment. This is an incredible shame because holding up these benefits rather than passing in a standalone bill is not only selfish, but it's causing many families to stress and suffer. With that said, it's time for Congress to finally, for once, get their act together and pass a bill to extend these benefits on a longer term, more stable basis. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Anita. Anita says, in the $908 billion stimulus package, will it include unemployment benefits? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Anita. And yes, in the bipartisan proposal, it would include an extension of the unemployment benefits. In their proposal, all pandemic unemployment insurance programs would be extended by 16 weeks from the expiration at the end of December. In addition to that, federal supplemental unemployment insurance benefits would also be expanded by $300 per week from the end of December into April of 2021. So even though it doesn't look like it's going to be retroactive like it was going to be before, it should at least help out quite a few families. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Carolyn. Carolyn says, do you really think we will get a stimulus check before the end of the year? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Carolyn, and more than likely, at this point, unfortunately, we will not. Even if they were to pass a relief package by the end of next week, they would need to send the checks out within the first couple of weeks. With Christmas and New Year's coming up, more than likely that would cause a delay in the processing of the payments. So let's say best case scenario, they do pass a relief package with stimulus checks in it by the end of next week, we would more than likely see the stimulus checks hit our accounts in early January. And even though that's certainly better than not receiving them at all, it would certainly be much better if we could get them before Christmas or even by the end of the year. With that said, as far as the delivery timelines go, I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated if or when they decide to pass a relief bill. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Deborah. Deborah says, does that include people on SSI and SSDI? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Deborah, and I'm assuming you're asking if people on Social Security benefits would be eligible for a stimulus payment under Josh Hawley's proposal. And the answer to that question is yes, people on Social Security benefits would be eligible for a stimulus check under Hawley's proposal. Under his proposal, everyone who received the first stimulus payment in the CARES Act would also be eligible for a stimulus check under his proposal as well. At this point, it's unclear whether or not dependents over the age of 17 would also be eligible for one, considering they weren't eligible for the first one. Hawley did say that every dependent would be eligible for the $500, but I've yet to see any bill officially written, so we'll just have to wait and see. With that said, I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated one way or another. Okay, moving along to the last question of today's video, which is from Scott. Scott says, what if we owe child support? Will I receive a check this time? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Scott, and at this point, it's still up in the air. Unfortunately, in recent proposals, we haven't seen a stimulus check in it, other than Josh Hawley's standalone proposal for $1,200 stimulus payments. Also, since no official language has been released in any of these proposals, it's hard saying for sure whether or not stimulus payments will be garnished this time around for those with past due child support. In recent proposals by Democrats, they have made it so those with past due child support would not have their stimulus payments garnished. On the other hand, in recent proposals by Republicans, they have made it so those with past due child support would have their stimulus payments garnished. So in the end, we'll just have to wait and see which proposal they decide to go with. Since the CARES Act was a bipartisan deal and stimulus payments were garnished for those with past due child support, it is my best guess that they will once again be garnished this time around as well. Of course, all that is subject to change though, and I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you could buy an item through Rakuten with one of the referral links, such as Nike, for $20, which would be around $22 after tax, and Rakuten would give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.